It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the Colorado Rockies. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Friday evening to you, wherever you may be. Despite the heat, the Dodgers and the Rockies will be rolling around Dodger Stadium throughout the weekend. The Rockies have a slight edge. They've won 8 of 15. And today, it will be left-handed Ted Lilly on the mound for the Dodgers. He is 7-13, 7-2 against the Rockies in his career, and 2-0 against them this year. On the mound for Colorado, Esmil Rogers. He has a record of 6-2, but more importantly, he is 5-1 on the road. Pitches much better down near the ocean. As for Rogers, no record against the Dodgers last year. As you may or may not know, the Rockies are in third place, trailing by 9. The Dodgers trail by 11. And one other thought. The last time Lilly and Rogers got together, it went 13 innings. So pull up a chair, and we'll be back right after this. Shakey's, where you can get your PCM on. Text MOJO to 99,000 to win a large PCM. By CarMax, now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax. And by AT&T.
And welcome back, everybody. After a long 10-game road trip, Dodgers back home for 6. They started off the weekend series against the Colorado Rockies. A bit of a delay. We're hoping for a 7:20 first pitch. Apparently, the umpires have been stuck in some of that Friday night L.A. traffic. Time for our Hyundai key to the game, and why not focus on Matt Kemp? He didn't get that 30th home run on the road, Steve, but he's one away, and that's exciting.
And look at him, top 5 in every Triple Crown category. I mean, he's having an outstanding year. It's like a broken record talking about how good Matt Kemp has been this year. But let's talk about how tough 30-30 is, because he needs just the one home run. Ian Kinsler was the last player in the big leagues to do it. The last National League player to do it was Hanley Ramirez, and that was back 3 years ago in 08. And the last Dodger, that's Raul Mondesi. Did it twice, 97 and 99. But we're talking about more than 10, 11, 12 years since a Dodger's been doing something like that. So you should really step back and think about how special what he is doing is.
And those numbers are all flirting with the Triple Crown. I mean, which is unbelievable, plus the stolen bases. So not only Matt Kemp having an MVP-type season, but you have Clayton Kershaw as well, and one of the front runners for the Cy Young, 2 guys.
Yeah, Clayton Kershaw just pitches even close to what he's been doing lately over his next 6, maybe 7 starts. He's hands down the MVP, or the Cy Young for me in the National League. You can tell me about the guys from Philly. You can tell me about anybody else. Ian Kennedy is tied for him in the league with wins at 16. Those guys aren't pitching nearly as dominantly as Kershaw is doing on a team that doesn't score runs for him.
And how about just 2 guys, though, you know, on the same team winning an MVP and a Cy Young? I mean, that can't happen very often.
Well, when you think about it, if you have an MVP and a Cy Young on your same team, you're a pretty good team, right?
Yeah,
there has never, ever been a guy who's won the Cy Young and the MVP on a losing team or a last-place team. In fact, every team that's ever done it's been done about 15 or so times. Every one of those teams either won their division and went into the playoffs or won a wild card and got into the playoffs. So you're not a second-place team. You're not a third-place team. You're not a last-place team if you have 2 guys that good.
That's a reason to come out to the park every single night. Again, we have a minor delay as we wait for the arrival of the umpires. We're going to come back, talk a little bit more Dodger baseball, and then come back in a minute. Stay there.
Ticket is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Try the new Jumbo Breakfast Platter for just $2.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. And by your Southern California Ford dealers. Visit us today and trade up to Ford.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Fans getting anxious for baseball. It's the Rockies and the Dodgers. We're out here at center field. I got Steve Lyons and Patrick O'Neill. A bit of a delay because we're waiting on the umpires. Did you bring your gear just in case they didn't?
No, I would not take that job for anything, but I can guarantee you there's more Dodger dogs being sold right now for fans waiting for the game to start.
We are expecting a 7:20 first pitch. All right, let's get to our Jaguar road trip summary because we should have known what a weird road trip it would be when it started with that triple play in Milwaukee. 4-6-3-2. Last time it happened that way, 1973?
Yeah, it doesn't happen like this very often. Brilliant play up the middle, and then Prince Fielder, as we talked about during that game, was very athletic, and he made that triple play end up.
He released that in 0.8 seconds by the time in his glove to home plate. All right, then how about the inside the Parker in Colorado?
Got to be able to run to get it inside the Parker. Trent Olson, not a lot of people know how fast he runs. And then on to St. Louis, where Aaron Miles was actually the last position player to pitch for St. Louis. And now he takes another position player deep. That's Skip Schumacher, who got the job. He actually struck out two guys in that inning and then gave up the home run to Aaron Miles. So kind of a good and bad outing for Schumacher.
Overall, if you were to summarize the road trip, considering they swept St. Louis, which hadn't happened there in forever, and pretty much buried their chances to make the playoffs.
That road trip was like you said before, it was like a beer league softball game, especially because we went to three stadiums that were, Miller Park,
sure,
Coors Field, Busch Stadium, and by the end of it, we were just hoping something funny would happen.
Yeah, and pretty much it was, although 5-5 could have been a bit better, 6-4, maybe 7-3. Hey, but Colorado, they've won 5 in a row, so it's going to be a good series. These are pretty good rivals here. So we're going to come back and we'll fill you in on the starter, Ted Lilly, and more in a minute. All right, Ted Lilly, last 4 starts, he's 0-3. His last start, he left early after 4 2/3 with a stiff neck. But you know what? You look at the ERA, the opponent's batting average, he has pitched pretty well.
Yeah, his numbers are way better than 0-3. And, of course, in Colorado, he had to leave early, which is a bad place to have to leave early because it really taxes your bullpen. But you see the numbers, through July 31st, and then since that period of time, their opponent's batting average is minuscule right now. Still gives up a long ball every once in a while, but when he does that, if it's a solo shot, it's not that big a deal, and it won't hurt him. He gets in trouble if there are guys on base, and then he lets one get away from him. So Dodgers need to score a few more runs for him, and he needs to pitch like he's been pitching over his last 5 starts.
One thing you don't want to do with a stiff neck is give up a home run, because then and
then it hurts way worse.
Snapping the neck around. All right, guess what? I promise we will have first pitch, and Vin's got the call in a minute. Stay there.
And no blackout dates. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Friday evening to you, wherever you may be. It is a hot summer's night in Southern California, and the Dodgers and the Rockies figure to make it even hotter before they're through. Dodgers coming back from a good road trip, finished up on a high note when they beat the Cardinals 3 straight in St. Louis. Meanwhile, the Rockies come here under the stretch with Jim with a 5-game winning streak, and Tracy's club has won 8 of the last 11. For the Colorado Rockies, last year they found themselves 8 back, and suddenly in the late September rush got to within 1.5 and then ran out of gas. Well, in August this year, they're averaging better than 5 runs per game. They have stolen 21 bases in August. However, the Rockies have always been 2 different teams. They are completely different when they are home and when they are on the road. Here is their lineup tonight. Eric Young in left field, Dexter Fowler in center, and Carlos Gonzalez in right. Troy Tulowitzki at shortstop, Todd Helton at first, Eliezer Alfonso is the catcher, Kevin Kuzmanov. Seemed like he dropped out of sight. Remember, he used to be with San Diego, and he has finally come back to the Rockies. Following him will be Mark Ellis at second base, and the pitcher, Esmil Rogers. He faced Ted Lilly just last weekend in Colorado, and that was quite a battle that lasted 13 innings, and the Rockies won it on a walk-off single by Dexter Fowler. Ted Lilly with a record of 7-13. However, he is 2-0 against Colorado, and he is 7-2 lifetime against the Rockies. So the 35-year-old left-hander trying to pick up where he left off and increase his advantage over Colorado. In talking about the Rockies, they have just concluded a good homestand. They've won 7 of the last 9 that were played at home. Well, we talked about Jim Tracy having 2 teams. For instance, since August the 4th, they're 9-4 at home. On the road, 3-4. At home, they're averaging almost 7 runs a game. On the road, 3. At home, they're hitting .294. On the road, 257. And with runners in scoring position, they're hitting 284 at home and 159 on the road. So, two teams. Which one has shown up tonight? We'll find out in a while. Here is Eric Young, who will certainly bunt. He has 5 bunt singles. EY looks at a breaking ball strike, and the count 0-1. He's hitting 236, but to really examine his batting average, he has to be ahead in the count usually in order to hit. The strike 1 pitch on the way, slow curve, strike 2. Give you an idea, when Eric Young is behind in the count, he's hitting 132. When he's ahead in the count, he's hitting 324. So let's see if the figures hold up. No balls and 2 strikes. Into the windup goes Lilly. Back with a pitch, swung on and missed, and down he goes. So Eric Young strikes out. We'll set the Dodgers with the leather. Juan Rivera, Matt Kemp, and Andre Ethier. Infield of Miles and Sellers, Carroll and Gloney. Behind the plate doing the heavy lifting, Rod Barajas, and the pitcher Ted Lilly. Coming up now is Dexter Fowler. Dexter is born to play in Colorado. He's a long-legged daddy long legs, hitting 260 size, but no home run, which is tough to play in the big leagues. He fouls the first pitch away, and the count 0-1. He didn't have a chance to say he likes to go after that first pitch, but this time he fouled it off. Another pattern for Dexter Fowler, for one reason or another, he rarely hits well early in the game. The strike 1 pitch, slow curveball in there, strike 2. He's hitting only 210 in the first 3 innings of any game. So with 1 away, Ted Lilly comes right back 0-2 to Fowler. Ted into the windup, and the strike 2 pitch, breaking ball off the plate, and the count 1-2. One thing Fowler can do, and it's one reason why they had him leading off a lot, he can walk. He has good plate discipline, but he's in a hole here. 1-2. Lilly ready, bends a curveball, little dribbler foul off his foot. So the count remains 1-2. So the Colorado Rockies feel that they're coming alive. They are 9 back of Arizona. One of the problems that the Rockies will face is the fact that where they're 2 games above 500 at home, on the road they're 7 games under, and 18 of their 31 remaining games they're on the road. 1-2 the count to Dexter Fowler, switch hitter, batting right-handed. Lilly from the third base side of the rubber, taking too long, and Fowler backs out. Ted into the windup. The veteran left-hander comes back. Fastball swung on and missed. He hit 89 on the gun. And so Ted Lilly begins the night striking out both Eric Young and Carlos Gonzalez. And now Carlos Gonzalez coming up following Fowler. Gonzalez has a 12-game hitting streak. One of the multi-talented player in this game, and backed up at cleanup by Troy Tulowitzki. Now Gonzalez likes that first pitch. He's hitting 289 for the year. If he puts the first pitch in play, he's hitting 407. So let's see what Lilly does. Fastball whacked to right field. He put it in play, all right. He put it in the pavilion. So Carlos Gonzalez increases his hitting streak to 13 with a monstrous home run, his 24th of the year. For Ted Lilly, plagued again, that would be the 28th home run that he has given up. So Carlos Gonzalez, one of those no doubt about it home runs. And for Lilly, it was a pitch out over the plate. Gonzalez dropped the bat immediately. He knew he hit it for the distance. So just like that, the Rockies are out in front 1-0. And for Colorado, they now have another heavy hitter in Troy Tulowitzki coming up. So Carlos Gonzalez rides it out for a home run. Boy, is he hot. 24 home runs, 84 runs batted in. And remember, he was out for quite a while with a bad wrist. The pitch now to Troy Tulowitzki, in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Tulo hitting .305, 26 home runs, 89 runs batted in. A lot of things about Tulowitzki. a lot of times when he strikes out, oddly enough, it's a called third strike. He also likes to hit first or second pitch. He's up there, does not get a lot of at-bats with deep counts. Strike one pitch, Troy takes in the dirt, and the count 1-1 strike. Tulowitzki has always been very, very consistent. And if you take any game, he's hitting .299 if the game is tied, .305 if the Rockies are ahead, .308 if they're behind. The 1-1 pitch fouled off, and the count 1-2. So Troy Tulowitzki, a major gun behind Carlos Gonzalez, and after that, the cagey veteran, and that would be Todd Helton. So Tulo in and out of the box, 1-2 the count. It is 85 degrees at 7:26 in the evening. And the 1-2 pitch on the way. Tulo takes in the dirt again, and the count 2-2 strikes. So after striking out Young and Fowler, Ted Lilly came back, and the pitch was lit up by Carlos Gonzalez as he sent it into the pavilion. So 2-2 the count to Troy Tulowitzki. Tulo taking a little time before settling in at the box. Now he's about ready. Lilly into the windup, and the 2-2 pitch on the way. Ted deals, and it's squirted foul. I think Tulo was guessing, and that off-speed pitch he hit off the end of the bat, and the count remains 2-2 strikes. That's one thing about Tulo, and you can already see it in this at bat. He doesn't swing and miss too often. But we did say most of the time, it seems, when he strikes out, he's looking. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball got him looking. Well, I'll be darned. So all the numbers add up in the first inning. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 swing of the bat by Carlos Gonzalez. And at the end of half an inning, Rockies 1, Dodgers coming up. And give the Rockies a 1-0 lead. Here are the Dodgers. It'll be Justin Sellers at shortstop and James Loney at first base. Matt Kemp in center. Juan Rivera in left. Andre Ethier in right field. Aaron Miles at third base. Rod Barajas behind the plate. Jamie Carroll at second base, and Ted Lilly on the mound. On the mound for the Rockies, Esmil Rogers out of Santo Domingo, 6'1", 175. Just turned 26 years old. Originally signed by the D-backs. And the right hand is first pitch in for a strike to Justin Sellers. Among other things about Rogers, he has had a terrible time in the first 3 innings of his games. His earned run average in the first 3 is about 8. Fastball swung on and missed. And so Sellers in a hold now. 0-2. Justin, I think, asking the plate umpire if he swung at a strike. The young shortstop doing very well, hitting .267 with a home run and 5 runs batted in. Rogers turns on the rubber, and the strike 2 pitch swung on and missed. Down goes Sellers. Though we've had 4 strikes already, and we're only in the first inning.
First baseman,
Ted Lilly striking out the side, and now Rogers nails Sellers, and that'll bring up James Loney, who's been blazing hot of late. All year the Dodgers have looked to Loney, and he has struggled one area or another, but right now he has really come off a solid road trip. Against Colorado, he always wears them out, hitting .352. James takes low, ball 1, 1-0. Last time we were in Colorado, just last weekend, James Loney had a 4-hit game. The 1-0 pitch on the way, Loney takes away, ball 2, 2-0. One of the great things about Loney is the glove. His fielding percentage is as a result of only 5 errors all year. 2-0 pitch. James swings, pulls it to the hole, smothered by Helton. On his knees, throws behind Rogers, and Loney is safely aboard. And then the backup catcher throws into right field, but Loney holds as Gonzalez finally comes up with the ball. So for Todd Helton, made a great diving stop, then while on his knees, threw behind Rogers. Rogers tried to reach down to get it, couldn't do it, and it will no doubt be charged with an error because a good throw certainly would have gotten Loney. So Loney is aboard, and that brings up Matt Kemp. For Todd Helton, who has always done well with the glove, that's only his 4th error, and it comes after a great diving stop, and now they're going to take the error away. They're going to say he made such a good effort that even though you threw behind the pitcher and it should have been an out, they're going to give Loney a hit. All right, charity begins at home. And here's Matt Kemp hitting .322, 29 home runs, 97 runs batted in, lifts one foul off first. Coming over is Ellis, and the second baseman leans in and he can't get it. Though a towering foul ball, no run. Dodgers still trying to get on the board. 1-0 in favor of Colorado. For Ellis, he went a long way. When Helton came off the bag, I don't think Todd had any idea where the ball was. So Ellis tried to come over and make the backup play and couldn't do it. So Loney is aboard with a hit, and Matt Kemp up there, no balls and 1 strike. Kemp, when you look at it this year, with his 29 home runs, that's over 31% of all of the Dodger home runs. He's the guy who brings them home. The strike 1 pitch swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. If you're thinking about home runs against Esmail Rogers, he has allowed 5 in 51 innings. Rockies lead 1-0 first inning on a home run by Carlos Gonzalez. Outfield deep. Fowler maybe just a step or 2 off the line in center. Throw to first, and Loney back on the bag. James doesn't do a lot of running, but he's 3 for 3 when he does go. 0-2 the count to Matt Kemp. Rogers out of a stretch. Slender Dominican, a high set up around the collarbone, and the pitch low and inside to Matt Kemp. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Esmail Rogers, originally signed by the Arizona Diamondbacks. With the Diamondbacks, he never made it. Finally came up to the Rockies in 09, 10, and again this year. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Right-handed deals. Ground ball to the hole by the diving Tulowitzki. To second base goes Loney and holds. And just like that, the Dodgers come up with 1 out and back-to-back singles. So with 1 away, 2 on, the batter will be Juan Rivera. Juan Rivera is certainly in the top 5 in the league as far as getting an RBI with a certain number of at-bats. Rivera with 22 RBIs figures to get an RBI a little bit less than 4 at-bats. Carlos Gonzalez a little bit more than 2.5 at-bats, so they're the big guys in picking up runners. So Rivera, since being with the Dodgers, hitting .322, and checks in now against the right-hander Rogers, going out towards the mound, keeping the infield right on the ball. Eliezer Alfonso, Tulowitzki, and third baseman Kevin Kuzminoff then make their signs, and Rivera checks in. 2 on, 1 out, and the Rockies lead 1-0. Rogers looks down the barrel, now straightens up. A look back at Loney. Now comes to Rivera, who sprays it foul down the right field line. Line drive outside the line by about 2 feet. No balls and 1 strike to Juan Rivera. Wednesday's game against the Cardinals, he was 2 for 5. He has a modest 2-game hitting streak. He is really fattened up against left-hand pitching. Rivera hitting .337 against left-handers. So Juan up there with Loney at second, Kemp at first, 1 out, 1-0 Colorado. Rogers out of his stretch, another check. Now Ismail ready, right-handed deals, fastball, foul back, and the count goes 0-2 to Juan Rivera. We mentioned that the Rockies are 2 different teams in the sense above 500, putting up big numbers at home and struggling 7 under on the road. The Dodgers are consistent, but not the way you want them to be. They're under 500 at home and under 500 on the road. The biggest difference between the 2 teams, Dodgers 1 game under in the West and the Rockies 4 games under. Strike 2 pitch a little high, 1-2 the count. Couple of little streaks on the line. The Dodgers sweeping St. Louis, so they have a 3-game winning streak, and the Rockies, as we mentioned, have won 5 straight, 8 of 11. Rogers a long look in. Rivera waiting. Remember, Rogers has had a lot of trouble in the first couple of innings. The 1-2 pitch to Rivera, and he fouls it back. Count stays 1-2. Remember, you start a game and your earned run average is about 8 in the first 3 innings. So Rogers has the habit of putting his ball club in a hole early. Of course, that's kind of reflected in his numbers. He is 6-2 against the league. Just a break even 1-1 at home, and surprisingly 5-1 on the road. Rivera waiting. Andre Ethier on deck, and the 1-2 pitch coming up. The right-hander ready. A double check of Loney, back to Rivera. A hot one to third, a 1-hopper. Kuzminoff down to Ellis, back to first, double play, and that is that. So Rivera ripped it. Nice play by Kevin Kuzminoff to start the double play, and at the end of an inning, 1-0 Colorado. In the first inning, gives up 2 hits, makes 15 pitches, but the double play bailed him out. So we go to the second with the Rockies leading 1-0 with Todd Helton, Eliezer Alfonzo, and Kevin Kuzminov. Helton first ball swinging and a fly ball to left. Rivera has to back up a little and makes the catch. So Helton, who normally is up there, it seems like 15 minutes every at bat. It's a rare time for him to swing at the first pitch, and he flies out. Ducking in some scores, Diamondbacks leading the Padres 5-0. Padres had made 3 errors, and that led to 5 Arizona runs early. 5-0 Arizona, third inning. Houston, San Francisco scoreless in the second. That's Happ and Bumgarner. And the Mets beat Atlanta 6-0. Here's Alfonzo, the catcher. He takes inside, ball 1, 1-0. In that Mets victory over Atlanta, the Braves head home, leaving New York early to beat the Hurricane Irene. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way, foul back. The Saturday and Sunday games were postponed between the two teams. They'll be made up with a doubleheader on the 8th of September. A hurricane that could very well involve 65 million people on the East Coast. Here's the 1-1 pitch to the Rockies catcher, foul back. 1-2 the count to Eliezer Alfonzo, doing a bit of the work against the Dodgers instead of the usual Chris Iannetta. Alfonzo is from Venezuela, originally signed by the Cardinals. They were hoping they had another Rodriguez, but it wasn't to be. The 1-2 pitch on the way is a little low. 2-2 the count. Alfonzo, an even 6, 220. 32 years old. 12 home runs at Colorado Springs this year. 1 home run in the big leagues. Swings, ground ball wide to third. Great stop by Aaron Miles, up and at him and throws him out. Nice play by Aaron Miles, moving sharply to his left, going down, spinning around like on a turntable, and then getting up and throwing a strike. So we have 2 down. Kevin Kuzminov comes back to the National League. Big guy whom you may remember when he was at San Diego. Take a good look at Kevin Kuzminov, because when he made his debut, it was like no other in baseball history. He takes off the play, ball 1. 5 years ago in Arlington, Texas, he hit the first pitch he ever saw in the big leagues for a grand slam home run. First pitch ever. 1-0 the count. Here comes Lilly to the windup. Kuzminov swings and misses. There have been others who have hit in their first at bat or in their first game, but Kevin was the first ever to hit a grand slam on the first pitch he ever saw. The pitcher was Edison Volquez. The slam made a winner of Cliff Lee that night, and one of the runners on base, Casey Blake, now with the Dodgers. He takes low. 2-1 the count to Kevin Kuzminov. 6'1", 210. 30 years old. His dad played with the Chicago Bears in the NFL. 2-1 fastball, grounded to short, backhanded by Sellers, gets it in the dirt. Nice backhand pickoff by Loney to save the moment. So down go the Rockies, 1-2-3 at the end of an inning and a half. 1-0 Colorado. Philly made 10 pitches to breeze through the second inning, and now Andre Ethier will lead off against Rogers in the bottom of the second. Andre really struggling on the road trip. He had just 2 hits in 27 at-bats, facing a pitcher he has hit in the past, and he takes a strike in the count 0-1. For Andre Ethier, he is 3 for 5 against Rogers. So if there's someone who might be able to bring him out of that road slump, it could be Rogers. Strike 1 pitch is fouled away, bouncing into the Colorado dugout, and the count 0-2. Carlos Gonzalez hit a home run to deep right field to give the Rockies a first inning lead, and that's it. 1-0 Colorado. Andre takes high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ethier waiting with that .286 batting average. The 1-2 pitch on the way, a little low. 2-2 the count to Andre Ethier. Ethier waiting. Rogers being very careful. Now turns and ready. And the 2-2 pitch swung on. Ground ball to the right side. Mark Ellis is on it. And that'll do it for Andre. 1 away here in the second inning. You know, the Coca-Cola Value Pack is available for select Wednesday and Sunday Dodger home games. This ultimate sports value includes 4 tickets, 4 Dodger dogs, and 4 Cokes. But this Sunday is your last chance to also receive a Clayton Kershaw bobblehead with every ticket, all starting at $20 per seat. For more information, go to Dodgers.com/specials. Aaron Miles hitting .287. Checks in at the plate, fouls the first pitch off, and the count 0-1 to Aaron. Miles, who made a nice play on the ball hit by Alfonso in the second inning, has done a wonderful job for the Dodgers wherever he's played. He's played 60 games at second base, 28 at third, goes after a pitch up around his shoulders and fouled it back. 0-2 the count. Miles with 3 home runs this year, hitting .287, 38 runs batted in. He has been such a big help. Strike 2 pitch and lifted to center. Fowler 1 step in and 2 steps back to make the catch. So a fly ball to center, 2 down, and the batter will be Rod Barajas.
Number 28, Rod Barajas.
Rod Barajas, who gives you some sock behind the plate. And Barajas against Rogers. He did not face him the last time that Rogers went up against the Dodgers. Barajas with 14 home runs, 38 runs batted in. So Rod heaves a bit of a sigh, now checks in at the plate. Barajas with 14, but he's hitting double figures plenty of times. First pitch to him a little high, then dips in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Barajas had a dozen for the Mets. He had 19 for the Blue Jays. He had 21 for the Rangers. So he's got some power in the stick. Strike 1 pitch fouled away, and the count 0-2. Barajas had a huge night Tuesday evening in St. Louis when he hit for a total of 10 total bases. He also had a very good August. 0-2 to Rod. Rogers ready. Here he comes in the dirt. Check swing. They look. Swing, says Brian Knight. And that'll do it for Barajas and for the Dodgers. No runs, no hits. And at the end of 2, Rockies 1, Dodgers nothing. feet, and that gives Colorado a 1-0 lead. Now Mark Ellis, the second baseman, followed by the pitcher Esmail Rogers, and then Eric Young. Ellis batting .282 with 3 home runs, almost hit by the pitch, just does get out of the way. He's one of those fellows who likes to hit early in the count and does his better hitting when pulling the ball. The 1-0 pitch on the way. He takes way outside. Ball 2, 2-0 the count to Mark Ellis. Ellis coming over from Oakland. In the first 3 games he had with the Rockies, he had 6 extra base hits. 2-0 pitch on the way. Right-hand hitter fouls it back, and the count 2-1. Ellis is the second Rocky in club history to have 3 hits and 3 RBIs in his first game, putting his name alongside of the great Larry Walker. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way to Mark, and he shies away. It's inside. 3-1 the count to Ellis. So Ted Lilly gave up the home run ball. It's 1-0 in favor of the Rockies. Ted's 3-1 pitch to Ellis is taken for a strike, and the count 3-2. For Ted Lilly, the same 2 problems that he has anytime he pitches: the home run ball and the stolen base. He's already been bitten by the home run ball. 3-2 pitch on the way. Ted works it, a shot up the middle by Ellis, and a base hit. So Mark Ellis leads off the third with a single to center, and that'll bring up Esmail Rogers. Now Esmail Rogers might be coming up to bunt, but the interesting thing about Rogers, he bunts for base hits. He has 4 bunt singles this year. As far as sacrificing, he has 3 of those. So of his 6 hits this year, 4 bunt hits, plus a couple of sacrifices, so you figure he's pretty handy with the bat. Lilly out of a stretch, looks over at Ellis and decides he'd best go over there. The other problem, as you probably know about Ted Lilly, home run balls and stolen bases. The last 2 years, base runners have stolen 49 bases and been caught only 3 times. The pitch to Rogers, bunted well. Down to get it is Loney. Has to flip it to Carroll covering. So the sacrifice works, and we have 1 away. Say, be sure to bring the kids to Dodger Stadium Sunday at 1:10. Dodgers and Rockies receive a back-to-school essential. That's right. All ticketed children 14 and under in attendance receive a lunchbox. Compliments of SmileGeneration.com. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Ellis at second base, 1 out, 3rd inning, 1-0 Rockies. Eric Young with 8 runs batted in, checking in. And remember, he gets so much better if he's ahead in the count. So it's important to see what Lilly does right off the bat. First thing he does is bluff a throw to second. Mark Ellis does not do a lot of running. He has stolen 3 out of 4. You don't usually run very much with the pitcher behind you, but Ellis also hit higher up in the lineup. So EY waiting at the plate. Lilly watching Ellis, works his hitter, and it's fouled away, and the count 0-1. Eric Young, the last time we saw him, and that was in Colorado last weekend, stole 3 bases in the game against the Dodgers. In that same game, he went 2 for 2 with a triple. He scored 2, had a walk, and an RBI. 0-1 the count to Eric Young. Lilly again a full turn and a look at Mark Ellis, but no throw. 1-0 Rockies, top of the 3rd, 1 away. So in the last 2 years, the base stealers have a 94% success rate against Ted Lilly. He comes to the plate with a big breaking ball low, 1-1. In his career, the runners have an 83% success ratio. which is a little hard when you realize you have a left-hand pitcher out there, but they've certainly exploited his move or lack thereof. Ellis takes a pretty good lead, so Jamie Carroll is inside of 10 to 12 feet from second base, trying to hold him on. Lilly out of a stretch. Ready now, comes to the plate. Young fouls it away, and the count 1-2 strikes. Game 1 of a 3-game series, the last 3 meetings of the year. For Don Mattingly, he will send Chad Billingsley to the mound tomorrow against Kevin Millwood. Then on Sunday, Jim Tracy will send Ulysses Chassin, and he'll go against Nathan Eovaldi. 1-2 the count to Eric Young, and another fake and a look at second base. Rockies lead 1-0. We're in the 3rd inning. Game started a little late. Tell you why in a moment. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and now Young backs out. The umpires were in a major traffic jam. There was an accident, so they were late, and the game started 10-12 minutes later than usual. The 1-2 pitch on the way, slow curveball, little nubber down to get it. Lilly fires to first, and the ball gets off the glove of Loney, and coming to the plate to score is Mark Ellis. And let's see, they are going to call Eric Young out. They're going to send Ellis back to second base. They are maintaining that Eric Young ran outside or inside the lane, the 45-foot lane, towards first base, and the plate umpire Hunter Wendelstedt was lining it up. We can take a look on TV. A little roller. Young is running on the inside of the chalk. Yep, he was not correct. Good call by the umpires, and usually they're right on the money. Of course, the plate umpire Hunter Wendelstedt has been umpiring for 13 years, and the throw actually hit Young in the back and never did touch Loney's glove. His dad, Harry Wendelstedt, umpired from 1966 through 1998, 33 seasons. So Hunter right there to make a good call. 2 out, and here's Dexter Fowler, and he takes a slow hook for a strike. Fowler struck out in the 1st inning. 34 runs batted in, no home runs, hitting .265. Big boy out of Alpharetta, Georgia. Strike 1 pitch on the way, swung on and fouled back, and the count 0-2. When you look at the lineup for the Rockies in the outfield, Eric Young does not have a home run. Dexter Fowler does not have a home run. And of course, that puts a lot of pressure. You expect outfielders to get some home runs, some power. And the Rockies lack power except in right field, where Carlos Gonzalez hangs out. 0-2 the count to Dexter Fowler as Gonzalez waits. 1-0 Rockies, 3rd inning on Cargo's 1st inning home run. Lilly a long look in. Now Ted straightens up. And the strike 2 pitch to Fowler. Instead, Lilly is off the rubber looking back at second base. So he has really been keeping an eye on Mark Ellis, who is able to take a very big lead at second, and there's not much that Lilly can do about it. The strike 2 pitch, Fowler swings, lifts a fly ball to right center. Matt Kemp says he'll take care of it. He's true to his word. So no runs, a leadoff single and a man left. And at the end of 2.5, Rockies 1, Dodgers 0. home run by Carlos Gonzalez. Now in the bottom of the third, it'll be Jamie Carroll, Ted Lilly, and Justin Sellers in that order. So Jamie, right-hand hitter, checks in at the plate. Rogers to the windup, and the first pitch in for a strike. To no one's surprise, Jamie takes the first pitch. They figured it out a long time ago. He swings at the first pitch less than 2% of the time. He swings now and lines a single to right field. So Jamie Carroll comes up with a leadoff single to right. That would be the third hit for the Dodgers. And the batter now would be Ted Lilly. And of course the Rockies will look bunt. Lilly with the bat has sacrificed 4 times. Clayton Kershaw leads the club with 7. Ted Lilly has 4 hits, including 2 doubles and 3 runs batted in. So Lilly hitting left-handed as he pitches. Out of his stretch goes Squires. The right-hander deals. Fastball bunted in the air to Rogers. No play at first. So Lilly pops the bunt up to the pitcher, and just like that, 1 away.
Shortstop number 12, Justin Sellers.
Justin Sellers will be coming in a moment as Lilly walks away empty-handed. Sellers, meanwhile, checking with Tim Wallach. Jamie Carroll at first base is perfect. He is 10 for 10 in stolen bases. So let's see whether they tell Sellers to take a pitch to see if Jamie can get a jump. 1-0 Rockies, bottom of the third. Rogers ready and deals, and the first pitch in for a strike. 0-1. For Sellers, to looking at his numbers, he has struck out 6 times and walked 4. He's had about 50 plate appearances, so not bad at all if you think in contact to put on a play. Strike 1 pitch is taken down and away. 1-1 the count to Justin Sellers. Esmil Rogers leading 1-0. We're in the bottom of the third. Rogers 6'1", maybe 175 pounds, out of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. 1-1 is instead a throw to first. Basically with Rogers, fastball, curveball, and a changeup. A lot of times the scouts say that Rogers, when he throws his changeup, tries to slow it up. And of course that's a big tip-off as far as the arm action is concerned. 1-1. The pitch to Sellers. Swung on, pulled sharply. Another great save by Kuzminov. His throw to second and then to first, not in time. What a play by Kevin Kuzminov. Wow. He did it against earlier in the first inning with Rivera. Now a sprawling stop, and then he had to bounce the throw to Ellis in time to force Carroll. They throw to first, not in time, but that was a tremendous play by Kevin Kuzminov. Whoa. So 2 out in the third inning. James Loney coming up. Loney hit a ground ball wide at first. Helton went to his knees, got his glove on it, then tried to throw to first and threw it behind Rogers. Loney safely aboard. They gave him a hit, and he takes a strike, and the count 0-1. James hitting .272, half a dozen home runs, 41 RBIs, little 5-game streak. 1-0 Colorado. Bottom of the third, 2 out thanks to Kevin Kuzminov. And the strike 1 pitch, Loney shies away inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Outfield fanned out. Young up a few steps in left, and Fowler shaded just a hair towards left center. Gonzalez straight away in right. Both Tulowitzki and Ellis play deep on the rim. Kuzminov way off the line at third, and Loney takes a pitch low. Ball 2. 2-1 the count. Dodgers and Rockies, they'll finish against each other Sunday afternoon. Then the Dodgers will open the door Monday night for the San Diego Padres. Let's see if they put a play on. Instead, they throw to first. Sellers back on the bag. 2-1 to Loney. And waiting on deck, Matt Kemp. Loney very much of a contact hitter. James has struck out 50 times. 2-1 the count. Sellers taking his lead, held on by Heldon. And now Loney backs out of the box. 1-0 Rockies. Bottom of the third, 2 out. Rogers out of a stretch. Right-handed delivers. Loney takes off the plate. 3-1 the count. So they didn't do anything 2-1. They'll see if they do anything 3-1. And of course Rogers does not want to see Matt Kemp with men on base. So Loney will get the best that's in the store. Rogers out of a stretch, and his 3-1 pitch coming up is taken for a strike. No action by Sellers, but now with 2 down and a full count, Sellers will be going from first, and that means Todd Helton gets off the bag. So Helton behind the runner. Full count, 2 out. Big pitch for Rogers. He doesn't want to look at Kemp. Esmiel staring in, getting a sign. Sellers ready to go. There he goes. Loney fouls it away. And the count remains 3-2. So Sellers back to first with 2 out. 3-2 the count on Loney. If you joined us late, it's 1-0 Rockies on a home run by Carlos Gonzalez in the first inning. Cargo is going to lead off the fourth, and he's hit safely in 13 straight. 3-2 pitch. Sellers poised at the ready. There he goes. Loney swings and grounds it foul outside of first, down the line. Eluding the ball boy. He'll have to get into right field to get it. So timeout for the moment. Again tomorrow afternoon, Kevin Millwood and Chad Billingsley. And then on Sunday, Ulysses Chassin and Nathan Eovaldi. And taking in his notes, Chad Billingsley alongside of Aaron Miles. 3-2 the count. Again, Sellers ready. And Justin goes. Loney swings. Ground ball to Helton. Like a vacuum cleaner. He comes up with it, takes it to the bag, and that's that. So no runs, 1 hit, a man left. A big play by Kevin Kuzminoff keeps it 1-0 Rockies. Put it up on the board. Carlos Gonzalez will show you the home run he hit in the first inning, and I mean he just killed it. No doubt about it. Dropped the bat immediately. They estimated the flight of the ball carried 448 feet. So here comes Cargo. By the way, with the home run, a natural RBI to go with it. He's tied a club record with an RBI in 10 straight games. Vinny Castilla was the other to do it. Ball one. Vinny Castilla, if you remember, when he played third base for the Rockies, he could hit anybody's fastball. He was as fine a fastball hitter I think I've ever seen. 1 ball and no strikes. Ground ball, but in front of it, Jamie Carroll. 1 away. That'll bring up Troy Tulowitzki.
Number 2, Troy Tulowitzki.
Tulowitzki, just an absolute marvelous player, a natural leader, and of course he's the one they look to. Tremendous pressure on him, but then when they lost Gonzalez out with a bad wrist, he had to carry the team pretty much all by himself. Now he's got some help. And first ball hitting, whacks it into right. Ethier going over to get it. Tulo on his way for 2, and he's in there easily. By the way, they don't run on Ethier unless they're pretty sure. He has 8 assists out there in right field. Not much of a chance they could have done anything about that. For Tulowitzki, it's almost a trademark. That is his 35th double. Remarkable. So by the time Ethier runs it down, Tulo's at second base. And the batter, Todd Helton, who surprised everybody going after the first pitch and fly to left field. Helton, 14 home runs, 67 runs batted in. That's ball one. Remember, one of the at-bats he had in Colorado, it was a 15-pitch at-bat against Javi Guerra. Kept fouling him off, and on the 15th pitch, he doubled. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-1. So the veteran, the franchise, who can move over now, no pressure on him with the arrival of Tulowitzki and Gonzalez. One of the trademarks of Todd Helton, he walks almost as much as he strikes out. Slow curveball in there. This year, he has 56 walks, but he has struck out 65 times. That was always a trademark of his. Plus, he gets at least 4 pitches in every at-bat. He's just a marvelous player, always has been. Todd, 38 years old, 5 times in his major league career he hit a home run on his birthday, and he did it this year against the Dodgers. One and two. And a high fly ball to right center. Kemp is there, tagging is Tulo. Matt for the catch. Tulo, too much respect for Kemp, and a one-hopper to third base from deep center. Oh, nice play, and the crowd applauds. But Tulo showed no signs of even thinking about tagging. He just looked as if he wanted to watch Matt Kemp throw the ball. So Matt holds him at second base, and the batter will be Eleazar Alfonso, hitting .254. 1 home run, 7 runs batted in. Ball one. Rockies hold a very slight edge on the Dodgers. They've won 8 of the 15. In there with a fastball, 1-1 the count. Ted Lilly has made 48 pitches though he's not had to work very hard on this hot evening. Tulo at second, 2 down. Ted has really spent a lot of time holding runner on at second base. When Ellis was at second base, remember in the 3rd inning, he was really conscious of him, and the same with Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki has stolen 9 out of 12. After Alfonso, Kevin Kuzminoff, who has made 2 huge plays defensively at third base. Two balls, 1 strike. Fastball popped up. It will be the shortstop Sellers taking charge immediately. And that'll be that. So no runs, 1 hit, the long double by Tulowitzki, and at the end of 3.5 innings, 1-0 Rockies. We proudly support Stand Up to Cancer and their work to fund groundbreaking research that helps accelerate treatment to patients. For more information, please visit standuptocancer.org/Fox Sports. In the 4th inning, Ted Lilly made 11 pitches, though he has now made 50. Meanwhile, the Dodgers against Rogers, Kemp, Rivera, and Ethier. A lot of people wondered at the very beginning when the time came to trade players that Heath Bell would certainly be one of the first to go, and it was a big surprise that he stayed in San Diego. Well, we finally have gotten down to 48-hour waivers, and that period has expired. They were working on a deal for Heath Bell to go to San Francisco. 1-1. You know, Brian Wilson on the DL with a tender elbow. So it looked like, well, that's smart. Giants will get Heath Bell, but it didn't work. So for now, Heath Bell remains with San Diego. 1 ball and 1 strike. That's a strike. 1-2. Another good pitcher, Wandy Rodriguez, we understand, had been claimed by Colorado. Remember the left-hander with Houston? Fine pitcher, but nothing has developed there yet. 1-2 to Kemp. 2-2. Matt grounded a single to left field in the 1st inning. Rogers has made 44 pitches as he begins the 4th inning. 2-2 to Matt. good pitch. That seemed to have a little late jump to it. Esmil Rogers. They break down his pitching performance, and in the first 25 pitches that he makes, he's in a lot of trouble. And it was that way a little bit in this game. Pop fly to right field. Ellis out. Gonzalez in. Cargo has the easier play. And we have one out here in the fourth inning. It's still 1-0 Colorado. So be sure to join the Dodgers September 13th, 7:10. They'll be facing Arizona. Fans will receive a throwback fleece blanket honoring their days in Brooklyn at Ebbets Field. Compliments of Pizza Hut. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions today. One away in the fourth inning. Juan Rivera ripped one in the first inning with 2 on and 1 out. Kevin Kuzminoff backhanded it at third and started a double play. Ball 1 to Juan. Then, to show it was no fluke, Kuzminoff made another brilliant stop of the hard hit ball by Justin Sellers. Turned that into a force play. That's fouled away. 1-1 to count to Juan Rivera. Rivera certainly has overcome a lot. He has always been a very talented player. The one shortcoming, perhaps, no speed. But when you know his background, know that he broke his leg, know in winter ball he was hit in the face by a pitch. He just hangs in there anyway, and he's batting .319. 1-2. Pretty good fastball at 92. Rogers, they say, has been clocked as high as 96. 92 has been the neighborhood so far. One and two. Rogers is one of those players. He's just 26. He could very well be a late bloomer. Fastball fouled away. Earlier in his career, they said when he got frustrated, he gets rattled, then he forgets about pitching and just becomes a thrower. However, that's not quite the same at 26 as he was in his early 20s pitching in the low minors. 1-2 to Juan Rivera. 2-2. And again, remember, just as the team would seem to be two teams, how they play at home, how they are on the road, he's the same way. He is 5-1 on the road. 2-2. Fouled away. At the very start of the game, we told you one of the big differences with the Rockies. With runners in scoring position at home, Tracy's club is hitting .284. Coming into this game on the road, with runners in scoring position, they were hitting .159, and they've had a couple of chances tonight. Check swing, pitch in the dirt, strike 3. So Rivera strikes out, 2 down. That would be the third strikeout for Esmil Rogers. And it'll bring up Andre Ethier. So we've seen his fastball at 92. We saw the curveball for strike 3 in the dirt. And now we see Ethier. Andre grounded out to Mark Ellis, the second baseman. So Andre trying to shake the dust of a tough road trip. One ball and no strikes. To repeat, the only run, a first inning home run by Carlos Gonzalez. 2-0. On deck, Aaron Miles. And ball 3. Rogers so close to his first walk. And they let him swing. A little pop fly. It is going to drop. A modest thing and thine own, but a slumping Ethier will be very happy to take it. But Don Mattingly, he gave him a big break. Go ahead and swing 3-0. You might hit it out and even up the game. It wasn't much. A big swing produced a pop fly single, but it is a single, and the batter will be Aaron Miles. Aaron Miles flied to center in the second inning. First ball swinging, fouls it away, 0-1. Miles, 3 home runs. He also has 3 triples. Big one in St. Louis the other night. And 15 doubles. Miles has done a great job whether he played second or third. He's hitting very well. And even as a pinch hitter, he's hitting .500 coming off the bench. And that's going to hit fair just inside the chalk down the line. Young has to come quickly to get the ball. Ethier will stop at third, and it's a double for Aaron Miles. So second and third with 2 out. Rod Barajas will be coming up. So Miles, along with the 3 triples, the 3 home runs, 16 doubles. Dodgers have the tying run 90 feet away with 2 out. And a go-ahead run at second base. Barajas struck out in the second inning. Rod, 14 home runs, 38 runs batted in. Infield very deep. Both Ellis and Tulowitzki back about as far as you can imagine, right on the rim. Big catcher at the plate, and ball 1. As we've pointed out in the past, Barajas, basically a fly ball hitter, did strike out in the second inning. And pops it up. Coming down the line is Helton, and he almost ran out from under it because he looked, I believe, at Rogers. Looked for a moment, Rogers might try to make the catch. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. It's second and third, and it's still 1-0 Rockies. By Chase, with over 16,000 ATMs nationwide and more on the way. Take a step forward and chase what matters. By Chrysler, Visit us at Chrysler.com or see your local dealers today. And by Time Warner Cable. Fifth inning, Rockies holding on to a 1-0 lead. The home run in the first inning by Carlos Gonzalez. They have also left a runner at second base in the third and in the fourth. Kevin Kuzminoff will start it off. Right. Third baseman's glove has been a big difference so far. That's in there. So Kevin in a hole, 0-2. Kuzminoff was originally signed by the Indians, came to the Padres in 2007, went to the Oakland A's, and now he's back with the Rockies. Ground ball to Sellers. One away. So Kuzminoff didn't hang around long, and Mark Ellis coming up.
Batting next, second baseman, number 14, Mark Ellis.
Mark Ellis from Rapid City, South Dakota. Born there, still lives there. But when it was time to go to college, he got as far away from South Dakota as he could. He went to the University of Florida. 34 years old. And a little foul ball, 0-1. Originally signed by the Royals, but made it to the A's. He was with Oakland from 2002 through 09, so that's 10 seasons. Then he came back again and eventually joined the Rockies this year. Ground ball just foul. 0-2. When Mark Ellis was at the University of Florida, he played shortstop, and the second baseman was David Eckstein. He participated in the College World Series twice, played in the AA playoffs, AAA playoffs, and was in postseason in 2002 with Oakland. 1-2. 4 years ago, Mark Ellis presented with the Catfish Hunt Award. The A's player who plays on the field and demeanor in the clubhouse best exemplifies the courageous, competitive, and inspirational spirit that was a big part of Hall of Famer and A's legend Jim Catfish Hunter. He not only won it in 2007, he won it 2 years before that. So he has to be quite a guy. Mark Ellis. Fouled away. Mark, I guess one of the highlights with the bat 2 years ago in a game against Baltimore, he had 5 hits. Two and two. Lifted to right field. Andre Ethier's there. So we have 2 down. And Esmail Rogers coming up. Remember, you can follow the Dodgers with the MLB.com at-bat 11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. You get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and much more. Text at-bat to 31826 or visit Dodgers.com for details. Look out for the bunt here. That's ball 1. As we mentioned, he is a good bunter, and he had Aaron Miles on the move. He has 4 bunt singles, and he has nothing to lose. Got Miles on the run again. That's a strike. 1-1. So Aaron plays back and then charges on the pitch. One and two. So that figures to remove the bunt, and Miles just stays back at third base. One and two to Esmail Rogers. We're in the 5th. 2 out. 1-0 Colorado. way out in front of a slow curveball. So down goes Rogers for the second time tonight, a 1-2-3 inning for Ted Lilly, and it's still 1-0 Colorado. Out in the first inning. After Young and Fowler had struck out, Carlos Gonzalez came up with a 12-game hitting streak and crushed one to right field, estimated 448 feet. For Cargo, his 24th home run, his 84th run batted in. He has hit safely in 13 straight, and that's it. 1-0. So now in the bottom half, it will be Jamie Carroll, Ted Lilly, followed by Justin Sellers. Carroll took the first pitch, of course, and then hit the second pitch into right field for a base hit, and was eventually forced on a great play by Kuzminov. Ball one. And ball two. Rogers has not walked anyone yet. Neither has Lilly. Rogers had a 3-2 count. And he's behind now 3-0. He was 3-0 on Andre Ethier in the fourth inning. And Ethier hit a pop fly single to center field. In there. Fastball hit in the air to Gonzalez. So one away.
Dodger pitcher number 29.
Ted Lilly tried to bunt his way aboard. Actually, he was trying to sacrifice, and he popped the bunt up, caught by Rogers. So Ted 0 for 1. Lilly with a half a dozen total bases. Four hits. Whoa. 0-1. 1 run, 3 hits for the Rockies. No runs, 5 hits for the Dodgers. You may remember the last time Lilly pitched, he had to leave with a stiff neck, which is one of the many problems, life on the road. Soft pillow, hard pillow, whatever. Obviously in good shape tonight. 1-1. And foul ball. Boy, did he turn on that thing. That is upstairs. Wow. 1-2 the count to Ted Lilly. Lilly stands 6'1". He's about 190. 2-2. Bottom of the fifth. 1-0 Colorado. Trying to win their 6th in a row. And 9 out of 11. Down he goes. So 2 out here in the 5th inning. That's 4 strikeouts for Esmil Rogers. And the batter is Justin Sellers.
Shortstop, number 12, Justin Sellers.
A little while ago, we were talking about Heath Bell staying with San Diego, and we mentioned Wandy Rodriguez. We understand he was put out on the waiver list. The Rockies claimed him, and Houston has pulled him back. Rockies didn't like whatever the asking price was for the trade. In fact, the reports had the Astros asking for the pitcher who had been the key piece in the Ubaldo Jimenez trade, Drew Pomeranz. Pomeranz is not here. I think he was just about ready to have an appendectomy. The other pitcher in that Jimenez deal, Alex White, is with the club. 0-2 to Justin Sellers. Good fastball, high and inside. Down he goes, and at the end of 5, 1-0 Rockies. Asked him for one more year at least. He said, okay, and be quiet and eat your cookie. I'll do the same thing. Let's go back. One to nothing in favor of Colorado, and Eric Young, followed by Dexter Fowler and Carlos Gonzalez. Fly ball to right field. Ethier is there. 1 out. So the Rockies had the home run by Gonzalez in the first inning. They left Mark Ellis at second with 1 out in the third. And they left Troy Tulowitzki at second with 1 out in the fourth. The Dodgers had 2 on in the first inning, and Rivera hit into a double play. Dodgers had Carroll at first, and a great play by Kuzminov prevented the Dodgers from scoring. Dodgers had second and third with 2 out in the fourth, and Barajas popped up. So those were the scoring opportunities that went by the boards. Still 1-0 in favor of the Rockies. Hard one hopper. Miles juggles, stays with it, goes him out. Two down, 6th inning, and Carlos Gonzalez coming up. Gonzalez hit one out of sight in the 1st inning. And that's it. Last time up, grounded to 2nd. 1 run, 3 hits for the Rockies. No runs, 5 hits for the Dodgers. Little high, ball 1. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of this 6th inning, James Loney, Matt Kemp, Juan Rivera. Ball 2. Two and 0. You know he's swinging if he likes it. Off speed pitch on the outside corner at the knees. Great pitch. Not a pitch that Gonzalez could really drive. And the count 2-1. And the fastball missed. So he's had him 2-0 and 3-1. We'll see what Gonzalez gets now. Lilly has made 70 pitches right up to this minute. Fastball got him. Well, he got a piece of it. So 3-2 the count to Carlos Gonzalez. Troy Tulowitzki on deck. 1-0 Rockies in the 6th. Though he threw him fastball 3-1. Let's see 3-2. Big off speed pitch. He wanted that slow curve and it just didn't break. So Gonzalez goes to first, and he is a 5-tool player, so he immediately look up and remind you Gonzalez has stolen 17 out of 21. You have a pitcher against whom the league has a 94% success rate in stealing bases, and yet Troy Tulowitzki at the plate. So let's see how Tracy plays this. Way over his head, ball 1. So a big decision coming out of the dugout. Do you put the cuffs on Tulo and run Gonzalez? 2 out. That's a fastball strike. 1-1. Nice to be able to run on a breaking ball. And a lot of times they will consider the count and try to guess breaking ball, and that's where they turn the runner loose. The hitter, of course, with a speedster at first, is always looking fastball. The old story in the hitter's manual, you look fastball because you have chance to adjust on a breaking ball or any off-speed pitch. But in this kind of a situation, I'm sure Tulo is looking fastball. 1-1. Period. One and 2. So this is a big battle inside the WAR. Lilly at one time trying to keep a rabbit at first base. and working on a very, very good hitter. On deck, Todd Hilton. Ted ready. 2-2. Now, I remember in the first inning we were talking about the fact that a lot of times Tulowitzki swings and usually gets a piece of the ball, and also usually he's called out on strikes more than swinging and miss, and he was called out in the first inning. So let's see. Fastball got him, caught looking again, inside corner. So the pattern holds up. Down goes Tulo, and Gonzalez never even tried to steal. It's still 1-0 Rockies. The freeze cam on it. There Gonzalez. There's the ball. Right, belt high out over the plate. Full arm extension. Right hip turning. Dropping the bat. And 448 feet later, the ball lands for a home run, and that's the difference in the game. 1-0. Dodgers have been scratching, trying to get it back. They had first and second. They had second and third. But so far, Gonzalez stands tall. 1-0 Rockies, with Loney, Kemp, and Rivera now coming up against Rogers. Loney singled and grounded out. His single could easily have been called an error. That's a strike. Ground ball wide of first. Helton made a diving stop. Then on his knees tried to throw to Rogers covering. Threw behind him. And the scorer ruled okay. It would have taken a good play to get him. Base hit. Fouled away. 0-2 to James. Loney, in his last 4 games plus tonight, has 12 hits. 0-2. Just off the plate. Rogers has allowed 5 hits. He's allowed 1 man to get to third, and he's still leading 1-0. And that's popped up. Tulo going out looking, and here comes Ewide to answer the call. 1 away. So the batter now will be Matt Kemp.
Dodger center fielder number 27, Matt Kemp.
Matt grounded a single to left field in the first inning, and last time up flied to right. Matt hitting .322, 29 home runs, 97 runs batted in. 0-1. Put all those numbers together and add 33 stolen bases. 33 out of 40. Marvelous year. Dodgers will have 32 games left. This is game number 130. Dodgers have the weekend with the Rockies, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with San Diego, and then a long road trip. They lost a day off. They have to make up a rainout game in Pittsburgh. Then Atlanta, Washington, San Francisco, and down goes Matt. This is the kind of a game, I'm sure, where Matt Kemp thinks he has to hit a home run. He has to do something, and that's just when he loses that great focus and starts to swing at pitches out of the strike zone. So Matt, who tries so hard to carry the ball club, comes up empty, and now the batter is Juan Rivera, who grounded into a double play and struck out. The double play was really a marvelous play by Kevin Kuzminoff. He took an extra base hit away from Rivera and then turned it into the double play. Foul back. It's the kind of a game you would expect to see excellent defensive plays, because Rogers has not walked anybody. Lilly hasn't walked anybody. So they're all on their toes out there. Tomorrow afternoon, Kevin Millwood and Chad Billingsley. A little breaking ball strike. 0-2. A lot of time there. Esmil Rogers from the Dominican. Juan Rivera from Venezuela. In the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. After this homestand, which will conclude on Wednesday, the Dodgers have one more homestand that will start on the 12th of September with Arizona. Foul ball. So the days are indeed dwindling down. It'll be Arizona, Pittsburgh, and San Francisco, and then the Dodgers will go on the road to finish out the year in San Diego and Arizona. So we sure hope you make your plans to come on by, take in a ball game. 1-2. Got him. Outside corner. Rivera knew it. Another strikeout. That's 7 strikeouts for Rogers now. And at the end of 6, 1-0 Colorado. The really difference, that 1 run, 1 pitch, and the resultant home run by Carlos Gonzalez. No walks for Rogers. He'd been right on the ball. The 7 strikeouts to 5, and that's really about it. As we go to the 7th, 1-0 Rockies. Ball 1. Helton has flied to left, flied to center. 2-0 the count. You know, I was born and raised in the city, in the streets, literally and figuratively in the streets. And it interested me when Helton was celebrating his birthday. He's going to pop that up. Carroll out, Heath here in. It will be Carroll. Anyway, they reported in the papers that Helton received a deer stand from his family.
Catcher, number 55, Eliezer
You know what a
Alfonso.
deer stand is? No, it's not a standing deer. I mean, you could sell me on that. Well, a deer stand is something that they put up in the tree. It could be like a small tree house. Anyway, they put it up in a tree, and then the hunter sits up there with a bow and arrow or rifle, whatever, and eventually, if he's lucky, gets a deer. Learn something new every day. A deer stand. He's got 2 of them now. 1 ball and no strikes to Eliezer Alfonso. Robbed of a hit, a wonderful play by Aaron Miles in the 2nd inning, and then popped up in the 4th with a runner at second base. 1-1. 1 run, 3 hits for the Rockies. 1 of the 3 hits was the home run. No runs, 5 hits for the Dodgers. They have 1 extra base hit, a double by Aaron Miles. 1-2. Alfonso with Kevin Kuzminoff behind him. And another foul ball. The Rockies are trying to get younger. It doesn't apply with Alfonso. He's 32. But plate appearances by players below the age of 25 are 20% higher than the National League average for Colorado. Little ground ball, Jamie Carroll. Plenty of time with a catcher. And we have 2 down. Kuzminoff coming up, and it's time for a little trivia question.
Kevin Kuzminoff.
As Kuzminoff makes his way to the plate, who are the only 4 LA Dodgers to record 200 hits or more and 25 or more home runs in a season? Only 4 of them. I'll give you the answer in a little while. Well, Matt, his chances of getting 200 hits. Give you how tough it is. He has 154. In the dirt. Kuzminoff, when he was with the San Diego Padres, hit as many as 23 home runs 3 years ago. This year, he had 4 home runs with the A's. Last year with the A's, he had 16. He has none right now. Ground ball. There's Sellers on it. Juggles, drops, throws, safe. So Justin Sellers, quick with the glove and the bat and the ball, but then bringing it up like wet soap that just slipped out of his hand. So Kuzminoff reaches on the error, and that'll bring up Mark Ellis. Interesting thing when you watch Sellers, and I'm sure Don Mattingly and all the coaches not only see it, like it, and admire it. He's not the kind of a kid who's going to drop his head. High fly ball to center. Kemp going back. That'll do it. So no runs, no hits. There was an error by Sellers and a man left. And we're heading to the bottom half. 1-0 Rockies. First inning, and so far that's it. Dodgers still trying to cage the rabbit, and it'll be Ethier, Miles, and Barajas in the 7th inning. There he is, Cargo they call him, Carlos Gonzalez. I tell you, if he had been with them for the other 20-some-odd games that he missed with a bad wrist, the Rockies might have made a lot more noise. So here's Ethier. They had him swing 3-0, and he got a little pop fly single. He also grounded out. Andre 1-for-2. Rogers had made 87 pitches in his first 6. Now behind 3-0. Now the last time 3-0, and you can bet they remember, The Dodgers green lighted Ethier, and he hit a little fly ball single. Not this time. There is the first walk. Ethier gets it. Aaron Miles coming up. And let's answer the trivia. Who are the only 4 LA Dodgers to record 200 or more hits and 25 or more home runs in a season? Tommy Davis, Steve Garvey did it 3 times, Mike Piazza, and Adrian Beltre. All right, here's Aaron Miles. Fly to center, doubled over third. Kuzanov moves up as if Miles would bunt to play sacrifice for Barajas. Ball 1. Now Alfonso out to talk to his pitcher. Aaron Miles has been in 109 games. He has about a good 380 plate appearances, and he has sacrificed only twice. Kuzmanov still thinks he might, though Kevin is in on the grass. Meanwhile, Tulowitzki and Ellis get together to figure out who's going to be covering second base. On a hit and run play, you figured Tulo would be covering. Ball 2. So all of a sudden now, young Rogers struggling a little bit. The amazing note about Ismael Robert coming into this game. Ball 3. Despite the fact he is 6-2 coming in, can you believe it? He has allowed almost 2 base runners every inning. I mean, he pitches out of the stretch most of the time. So far, he's only had 2 base runners in the first inning, and in the 4th, he's on the edge here. That's 3-1. Now let's see if the Dodgers play run and hit, where Miles is not obligated to swing at ball 4. Aaron has only struck out 40 times, so this wouldn't be a bad combination. No running and a foul ball. So 3-2. Down in the bullpen, Matt Reynolds, a left-hander, getting ready in case Rogers falters. Rogers is also due to lead off in the 8th inning. And Reynolds now has been joined by Matt Lindstrom, a right-hander. 3-2. Nobody out. Let's see if they run Ethier. Nope. Foul back. Miles has grounded into 9 double plays. All 9 when he's batting left-handed. Ethier holding the last time. Let's see. There he goes. Fouled away. For Rogers, this has been a different inning. Going into the inning, he was 0-2 to about half of the Dodger hitters. But in this inning, he was 3-0 to Ethier and walked him. And he had a 3-1 count to Miles, now 3-2. Could be fatigue entering it a little bit. Runner goes on ball 4. They throw down. Apparently, no word out of Honda Wonderstedt to Eliezer Alfonso. So suddenly back-to-back walks, nobody out. Barajas, Carroll, and Lilly. Bob Apodaca, the pitching coach, is going out to talk, and we will see. Apodaca never makes the change. He always goes out to instruct. Jim Tracy relying heavily on Bob Apodaca. Two on, nobody out. So the third time tonight, Dodgers have had two runners. First and second, one out in the first inning, and Rivera hit into a double play. Second and third with two out in the fourth inning, and Barajas popped up. And now back-to-back walks with nobody out in the seventh inning. Barajas struck out and popped up. One thing about Rod being basically a fly ball hitter, he has only grounded into 3 double plays. 1-0 Rockies, bottom of the 7th. For the Dodgers, this would be their best chances to get on the board. They're thinking maybe Barajas would sacrifice, and the pitch fouled away. 0-1. So Ethier back to second, Miles to first. Barajas has sacrificed twice this year. Jamie Carroll hitting back of him, and Rogers has now reached 100 pitches. So 13 in the inning. 0-1. Rockies still look bunt. Helton, Kuzminov, each caddy corner. 0-2. Very hard to do something that you just are not asked to do the majority of time. So many times when a team is in a winning streak, they'll have a fella come up to sacrifice. He'll foul both off and then get a big base hit. Well, we'll see what happens with the Dodgers. Kenley Jansen is now throwing in the Dodger bullpen. 0-2 to Barajas. Foul back. Again, Barajas making sure they've taken the bunt off. Last time we saw Rogers, he went 6 innings and made 109 pitches. And a soft line drive. Runners had to hold, so they're going to hold Ethier. So there you have it. You have a guy come up, try to sacrifice, foul off 2, and then swing away and get a base hit. How many times have we seen that? Just by the diving Kuzminov. So the Dodgers have loaded the bases. Nobody out.
Baseman, number 14,
Jamie Carroll, the batter. And Jim Tracy will apparently stay with Esmil Rogers. Jamie Carroll in his career has 1 grand slam. He hit it 4 years ago against the Cubs. Tony Gwynn comes out on deck. Nobody out with the bases loaded. Fastball, fly ball to center. Ethier tagging, Fowler on the run. Doubtful at send. Ethier, they're trying to hold him up. He is out at the plate. Ethier ran right through Tim Wallach's stop sign. And Wallach made sure he went way down the third base line. Wow. Nice play by Dexter Fowler, charging a shallow fly ball, but why Ethier kept gumming Wallach, if we can show Wallach on the fly ball, he's going to be more than halfway to home plate. Now watch. There, well, by this time it's after the fact, and the tag, a well-played tag. One more time. Ethier coming. Now watching the right-hand side. See Wallach? He had his hands up all the way, and Ethier just ran through the stop sign. So it turns out to be a double play and a nice diving tag by Alfonso. So the double play, 8-2. And so now Tony Gwynn with 2 out. Carroll looks annoyed. Ethier is somewhat frustrated. They will walk Tony Gwynn with the rookie Justin Sellers on deck. So with Miles now at third, Barajas at second. In a moment, Gwynn will be at first. So Barajas, good man up there with a runner at third. You certainly expected a fly ball, but you also expected Ethier to hold on, I think. So the bases are loaded with 2 out. And here comes Justin Sellers. He has struck out twice, was robbed of a hit by Kevin Kuzminov. And Rogers, perhaps in his last inning, trying to fight his way off the hook. Justin hitting .250, 0 for 3 tonight. And a strike. Rogers in pitching to Sellers, he has 4 wild pitches. So Miles at the ready coming down the line. Barajas at second and Gwynn at first. Miles put on a pretty good bluff coming down the line. Rogers concentrating on his catcher. 0-1. Whoop, they're going to call the balk. And the Dodgers get the run, and look out. Tracy is on the steps, and they have called the balk on Rogers. And that first bluff by Miles set the stage for the second one. Rogers shaking his head no balk. And Tracy talking to Bob Davidson. Oh, there's the balk. Hands together. Now you can see kind of an elaborate move, and that's why the balk was called. I think they're going to call it on 2 stops. In other words, once he stopped, they figure you're supposed to pitch from where you stop, and he didn't do it. Rogers is furious. Tracy's going to lose the argument for sure, and the Dodgers on a balk have tied up the game. So you have to give credit to Aaron Miles. So now you have runners at second and third, and Sellers with a lot of pressure off him completed, and he promptly hits it into right field. 1 run will score. Here comes Gwynn to score, and that's what the balk did, and the Dodgers lead 3-1. Can't help but thinking the happiest guy in the ballpark is Andre Ethier. And the angriest guy in the park has to be Jim Tracy. So it's 3-1 Dodgers here in the 7th inning as Justin Sellers bangs one the other way. And it will be soon forgotten about that play at the plate. And with all of that, as Rogers still saying no and shaking his head, we'll be back. The young pitcher. Tommy Reynolds, of course, has been around baseball a long time. He was an infielder for over 10 years, was in the Giant organization, Cincinnati. The very first at-bat that Tommy Reynolds ever had in his career was against Fernando Valenzuela. So I'm sure Tommy trying to console Rogers. Now he figures he's said enough. Tommy got his first hit against the Dodgers, Jerry Royce. And he won a Silver Glove Award. You don't usually see or hear much from Tommy, but he's the right-hand man for Jim Tracy, and a good one to have. All right, Sellers at first, Loney the batter. Rogers made 110 pitches. And there goes the runner, Helton down to his shortstop, and that will do it for Sellers. And for a wait a minute, what are they going to call now? Now Jim Tracy is coming out. Hunter Wendelstedt is telling Tracy, don't come out here. I'm not sure if that. Wow, they're going to throw Tracy out now. Well, Tracy's been kicked out, so he's getting rid of his money, venting his spleen. Sellers is standing at second base, and I guess they just called another balk. See where the right-footed is more. You're supposed to stride in the direction you're throwing, so that as a left-hander, Reynolds' right foot and his right knee should have gone towards first base, and you can see the plate umpire, Hunter Wendelstedt, checking and tapping his knee. And what he's saying is that knee bent towards the plate, and then he threw to first. So what an odd inning. 2 balks, and that knocks the Rockies right off track. Meanwhile, Tracy, if we understood that big gesture by Hunter Wendelstedt, was kicked out of the game. So here is Reynolds. He's only been in there a second. He's committed a balk. 3-1 Dodgers, 7th inning. 1 ball and no strikes. Sellers at second, 2 out, 3-1 Dodgers, bottom of the 7th. Fastball whacked into right center field. Away out. That's going to be gone, and the Dodgers have broken it wide open. Just to add more salt to the wound, Sellers was charged to Rogers, and the home run by Loney is charged to Reynolds. So the Dodgers 5 runs, 8 hits, and the Rockies 1 run, 3 hits. Rockies' run came in the first inning, and offensively they weren't heard from again. Esmail Rogers turned in a great effort until the balk caused by Aaron Miles faking down the line. The Rogers will remember this game or try very hard to forget it both. For James Loney, his 7th home run. 5 of the 7 home runs are against the Rockies. 2-0 in the dirt. Matt Reynolds will be 27. Big left-hander, 6'5", 240. He's out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Ground foul. So remember, it started when Ethier walked, then Miles walked, then Barajas singled to load the bases. Carroll hit a fly ball to center. Ethier ran through Wallach's stop sign, and the Rockies had 2 outs on that fly ball. They walk Wynn intentionally, and that's when Miles twice ran down the line. There's a shot by Matt Kemp, and Reynolds gives up another, and a monster it is. Matt Kemp now has 30 home runs, 98 runs batted in, and 33 stolen bases. Matt Kemp's last home run was just recently in St. Louis. So, did you ever see a game fall apart so quickly? Just when they looked like they were going to be out of the inning, the Rockies have given up a half a dozen. The balk induced by Miles, and then the game just flew away as far as Colorado is concerned. The balk on Rogers. Rockies felt that it was not a balk. And then the balk on Reynolds set up another run. So consecutive home runs by Loney and Kemp. And it is 6-1 in favor of the Dodgers. That's hit to Kuzminoff, and that'll take care of Rivera. But the Dodgers have taken care of the 7th inning. 9 men came to the plate, and Matt Kemp hits number 30, and boy, did he get all of that. That's gone out as far to center as we've seen a ball in a while. 6-1 Dodgers. .30-30 club, and he did it by hitting one completely out of sight. That went to dead center and went high up. Take a look up where the cameramen are, and then bounced all the way out of sight. So Matt, with his 30th home run, now has 30 homers, 33 stolen bases. Raul Mondesi, one of the all-time Dodger players here, did it twice in 97 and 99. So a great performance, and we tip our cap to you, Matt. That was quite something. Now the Rockies trying somehow to fight their way back. Kenley Jansen will go in Rivera's spot, and he's facing Jonathan Herrera. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Herrera. Herrera, basically a second baseman, plays a little short. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's from Maracaibo in Venezuela. About 5'9", maybe 155 pounds, maybe. Foul ball. Herrera, the switch hitter, he's naturally a right-hander. Has a little more power right-handed. But as the hitting coaches say, he stays inside the ball a little bit better left-handed. Breaks his bat and pops it to Carroll. So 1 away on the pop fly. One play. First the bluff by Aaron Miles, and then the second time inducing the balk, and all the wheels came off the Rockies wagon. One little play, one little bluff, and we're not talking poker. Probably with the home runs and everything else that happened, Miles' little play might be overlooked, but that did it. That put the torch to the hay. Here's Young. And a strike. 0-1. Young struck out. Popped up. Flied to right. Oh, and 2. As we mentioned in looking at the Rockies, 2 of the 3 outfielders without a home run. You don't see that very often. 0-2. EY came into this game. He has 5 bunt hits. He has not tried to bunt, and of course he's not going to do it with 2 strikes. 2-2. That was in '96. So big fella's throwing hard, and he is a big fella. Kenley Jansen sidelined, but went through the rehab and all of the other gentle care. 6'6" and at least 240. On the hands, cracked bat foul. He'll have to get another stick. You could hear that. Celery stalks at midnight. That was an old song, but it sounded like a celery stalk. Still 2-2. Six runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the Dodgers. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, and 2 balks charged to Colorado. And ball 3. Big Kenley Jansen trying to close it out. Reinstated Wednesday. He hadn't been on the mound since the 26th of July. There's a hopper to Sellers. Boy, that was close, but he got him. 1 away. Now 2. You know, a reminder, Fox Sports Game Connect, the ultimate online experience for fans. Log on, take part in the most interactive forum during Dodger games. Stats, trends, live Twitter feeds. Fox Sports Game Connect now available on foxsportswest.com. Here's Dexter Fowler. Certainly looked like a hero on that fly ball by Carroll when Ethier ran through the stop sign put up by Wallach, and Fowler wind up getting an assist, and then the great tag by Alfonso. And he smokes it to right. Ethier makes the catch on the dead run. So the Rockies go down 1-2-3, and at the end it's 7.5, 6-1 Dodgers. to nothing into the 7th inning. And now in the bottom of the 8th inning, after that explosive 7th, Lindstrom coming in to pick up for Colorado. So it's been Esmil Rogers for 6 2/3. He gave up 4. Matt Reynolds faced 3 batters and gave up 2 home runs. So now here's Lindstrom. And Matt getting ready. And Ethier's at the plate. A little flare down the line, foul. So Ethier coming back, hitting .287. He is grounded out, singled, and walked. 1 for 2. Facing Matt Lindstrom, another big pitcher. He's 6'4". Lindstrom out of Rexburg, Idaho. 0-2. Now lives in Highlands Ranch, Colorado. He was originally drafted by the Mets 9 years ago. Went on a 2-year Mormon mission and then came home and pitched for junior college in Idaho. 1-2. His mission was to Sweden. That's his family's country of origin. As he said, and he doesn't like to talk about it more than to say a valuable experience helped him to grow. Squirted to third. Kuzminoff gets it over there. 1 away.
Dodgers third baseman, number 6, Aaron Miles.
Aaron Miles fly to center, double a lab, walked, and then turned in the biggest play of the night, not with the bat, not with the glove, but with his feet and legs. Bluffed down the line once, and the second time as he bluffed, the balk was called on Rogers, and Colorado just fell apart. Aaron batting .288. Checking at third. No reaction, so ball 1. That was a change. Miles couldn't hold up on it. Of course, when you look at Lindstrom at 6'4", and he is all arms and legs and kneecaps, it was tough to see that pitch up here. Ground ball to Helton. 2 down, and Rod Barajas coming up.
Batting next, catcher number 28, Rod Barajas.
Remember Rod Barajas in that nightmare inning for Colorado. He was 0 for 2. Dodgers had 2 on, nobody out. They asked Barajas to bunt, something that he doesn't do very often, nor is he asked to do it very often. So it was no surprise that he couldn't do it. Fouled off a couple, took the bunt off, and as so often happens, he then got a base hit. Check swing. They're going to look. No swing. Ball 1. You know, it was amazing about these 6 runs in retrospect. All of it took place in a span of only 8 pitches. 8. And then, of course, it was capped by Matt Kemp's home run on the heels of Loney's home run. And there's that fly ball. Fowler will catch up to it. So we have 8 innings in the books, and right now it's all Dodgers, 6-1. All the scoring for the Rockies, one swing by Carlos Gonzalez, and then of course that wild 7th inning for the Dodgers. So we go to the 9th, and it'll be Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki, and Todd Helton. Kenley Jansen, by the way, made 14 pitches in the 8th inning, and now Scott Elbert will be asked to close it up in the 9th. And he has a couple of left-hand hitters with Gonzalez and Helton. So Scotty getting ready, give us a chance to duck in a couple of scores. The Giants have a lot of trouble scoring, but they scored just enough. The Giants beat the Astros 2-1. Madison Bumgarner got his 8th win, got a save from Santiago Casilla, and Joe Happ his 15th loss. The Diamondbacks beat the Padres 5-0. So Arizona keeps pace and keeps rolling along. They've won 4 straight and remain 3 games in front of the Giants. Josh Colmenander and 4 relievers shut down the Padres. And that's about it. Now here's Carlos Gonzalez, homered, grounded out, and walked. Fastball strike. Gonzalez hitting .290, 24 home runs, 84 runs batted in. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Scott Elbert trying to take care of one of the big hitters. Broken bat, ground ball, Loney to the bag, 1 away. So Gonzalez winds up going 1 for 3 as he breaks the bat. And it'll now be Troy Tulowitzki. Struck out twice, called out each time, and double to right. Tulowitzki hitting .305, 26 home runs, 89 runs batted in. That's a strike. 0-1. Of course, Gonzalez and Tulowitzki are not only the big guns, they're also the big paychecks. A lot of money on their shoulders. Tulo, a 10-year deal for just about $158 million. Carlos Gonzalez, a 7-year deal for over 80. And then of course the franchise, Todd Helton, he had signed a 9-year deal for over 140. So they all figure to be around a while. Helton certainly has been, and Tulio and Gonzalez figure to be. 2-1. Troy, one of those really fortunate young ball players. He spent only 14 months in the minors after signing his contract before he was called up to stay. So he signed the end of 2005. He was at Long Beach State, and he was playing for the Rockies in 2006. Grew up in Sunnyvale, California. That's a strike. All strikes on Troy Tulowitzki. That's been a trademark, and it was no surprise, because we had told you about it before the game. A lot of times he's called out, and it's happened twice tonight, in the 1st inning and in the 6th. This time he's swinging. So a 3-2 fastball. Base hit to left field, and the batter will be Todd Helton. So Tulo goes 2 for 4. Todd Helton flied to left, flied to center, popped up 0 for 3. Helton, 14 home runs, 67 runs batted in, Tulo goes to second, but that's in indifference, defensive indifference, no stolen base. I think the one time tonight I thought we'd see an attempted stolen base was in the 6th inning. With 2 out, Gonzalez had walked, and Tulowitzki was at the plate. And remember, the score was 1-0. Gonzalez had stolen 17 out of 21, and we kept waiting and waiting. It never happened. And eventually, Tulowitzki was called out on strikes. Fastball sliced to left. That's going to be a base hit. So with 1 out, back-to-back singles, and the batter will be Eliezer Alfonzo.
Eliezer Alfonzo.
So it's interesting. Elbert is brought in to face the left-hand hitters. He gets Gonzalez, but he gives up the single to Helton, as well as the single by Tulowitzki. So Javi Guerra throwing in the pen, and Alfonzo at the plate. Alfonzo is 0 for 3. He was robbed of a hit in the 2nd inning. Aaron Miles made a fine play, diving to smother the ball and spun around on his hip and got up to throw the catcher out. He's had one big at bat. That was in the 4th. Tulowitzki had doubled, and after Helton flied out, Alfonzo popped up, and that was that. So meanwhile, Rick Honeycutt is going out to talk to Elbert, maybe to remind him about how they want Alfonzo pitched. Kevin Kuzminoff is on deck. Mattingly, along with Tim Wallach, watching the message being delivered by Honeycutt. And now Hunter Wendelstedt going to break it up. So Alfonzo, ever patient, and in a moment we'll get it started again. 1st and 3rd, 1 out. Top of the 9th inning, 6-1 in favor of the Dodgers. Dodgers trying to add to their winning streak and make it 4 in a row, and at the same time snap a Colorado 5-game winning streak. And ball 1. The Rockies 7 games under 500 on the road, and even though they came here full of optimism, having won 7 out of 9 on a homestand and 5 in a row, they're asking a lot because 18 of their last 31 games they're on the road. 2-0 the count to Alfonzo. 6-1 Dodgers in the 9th. That's a strike. 2-1. Meanwhile, Dexter Fowler, Eric Young, thinking what happened, how a tight game just fell apart. And that's popped in the air. Loney might have a play. He does. So Alfonzo goes 0 for 4. The runners hold at 1st and 3rd. Remember that note we gave you at the start of the game. The last 7 games on the road, the Rockies with runners in scoring position were hitting 159, and they're going to give up some more points tonight. So here's Kuzminoff. 2 ground balls to short. The 3rd ground ball was bobbled and dropped by Sellers for an error. So Kevin 0 for 3, still looking for a hit since coming to Colorado. And down to second base without a play goes Helton. Again, defensive indifference. So 2nd and 3rd with 2 out. 0-1 the count to Kuzminoff. And that's in there. So the Rockies are down to their last strike. The crowd tonight, 38,960. 38,960. Remember, tomorrow afternoon, Millwood and Billingsley. Sunday afternoon, Evaldi and Chassin. And that will do it for Kuzminoff and for the Rockies. They leave runners at second and third. They wind up with only the home run in the first inning, and the Dodgers win it going away. 6 runs, 9 hits, and an error for the Dodgers. A win for Lilly. 1 run, 5 hits for the Rockies. A loss for Rogers and for Matt Kemp. He joins the 30-30 club, his 30th home run to go with his 33 stolen bases. Stay tuned for Dodgers Live coming up next. Good night, everybody.